It starts with a phone call. Just after 6 in the morning, an executive answers the ringing phone. The voice on the other end is shaking. Something's wrong. The numbers don't add up. Within hours, investors begin calling non-stop. Banks freeze billions of dollars in transactions. Regulators rush into emergency meetings. Lawyers scramble to review years of financial records. The impossible has just happened. One of the largest investment firms in the country has collapsed overnight. But the biggest mystery isn't how much money disappeared. It's this: how did one Ponzi scheme fool banks, lawyers, and regulators, the very people trained to detect financial fraud? The answer begins many years earlier. Long before anyone suspected fraud, the man behind the operation looked like the last person anyone would question. He wasn't loud, he wasn't flashy, he didn't drive exotic cars or throw extravagant parties. Instead, he built something much more valuable: trust. He remembered people's birthdays. He donated generously to charities. He attended industry conferences. He spoke calmly, dressed professionally, and never seemed interested in attention. To most people, he looked exactly like someone you could trust with your life savings. And that's exactly what thousands of investors did. At first, everything seemed ordinary. Clients deposited their money. Every month, they received statements showing steady profits. Not huge profits, just enough to seem believable. Year after year, the numbers kept growing. Even when markets struggled, their investments somehow remained remarkably stable. Many investors considered this proof that they had found an exceptional financial manager. Some even joked that he had discovered the secret to beating the market. No one realized those monthly statements were carefully designed to tell a story, not the truth. Success spread through word of mouth. Satisfied clients recommended friends. Friends recommended business partners. Business partners recommended entire families. The firm became exclusive. Not everyone was allowed to invest. Oddly enough, that made people want in even more. Scarcity created demand. People assumed that if access was limited, the opportunity must be extraordinary. Soon, waiting lists formed. The reputation became stronger with every new investor. Banks had little reason to worry. Large transfers moved in and out regularly. The paperwork appeared complete. Lawyers reviewed contracts that looked professionally prepared. Independent audits appeared to confirm that everything was in order. Regulators conducted examinations from time to time. Nothing immediately suggested that billions of dollars were missing. On the surface, everything looked legitimate, and appearances can be incredibly convincing. But beneath that polished image, tiny cracks were beginning to form. Some analysts noticed that the investment returns were unusually consistent. Markets rise, markets fall. Even the best investors experience losses. Yet somehow, this firm continued producing positive results year after year. That should have raised questions. Instead, many people assumed the manager simply possessed extraordinary skill. Others wondered why so few details were shared about the investment strategy. Whenever clients asked difficult questions, the answers were vague but confident. The explanations sounded complicated enough to discourage further discussion. Few people wanted to admit they didn't fully understand. So they nodded and trusted. A handful of financial professionals quietly expressed concerns. The numbers seemed mathematically unlikely. Certain trading patterns didn't match public market activity. Some reports simply didn't make sense. Warnings were submitted. Questions were raised. But those concerns never gained enough attention. After all, the firm had been successful for years. Thousands of satisfied clients couldn't all be wrong, could they? This is one of the most dangerous psychological traps in financial history. When enough people believe something is true, others stop questioning it. Reputation becomes stronger than evidence. Then everything changed. A major financial crisis shook global markets. Investors became nervous. Many wanted to withdraw their money at the same time. Normally, that wouldn't be a problem, unless the money isn't really there. Withdrawal requests poured in faster than new investments arrived. For the first time in years, the operation couldn't keep up. Payments slowed. Then they stopped completely. Phones rang without answers. Meetings were canceled. Investors demanded explanations. The carefully built illusion began collapsing in real time. Investigators finally gained full access to the records. What they discovered stunned everyone. Many of the reported investments had never existed. Years of account statements had been fabricated. Profits shown on paper had been created using little more than accounting entries. New investors' money had been used to pay earlier investors. There had been no extraordinary investment strategy, no secret formula, no financial genius, only a massive illusion sustained by trust. Banks realized they had processed transactions without recognizing the underlying fraud. Lawyers discovered that professionally written documents couldn't guarantee honesty. Regulators faced difficult questions about why earlier warnings had not received greater attention. Thousands of investors lost retirement savings, businesses, college funds, and decades of financial security. Many had believed that multiple layers of oversight made such a disaster impossible. Instead, every layer had relied on someone else. That may be the most important lesson of all. Looking back, the warning signs seem obvious. Returns that never fluctuated, limited transparency, complex explanations, an exclusive reputation that discouraged skepticism, a leader everyone admired. But hindsight is always clearer than the present. When trust grows stronger than verification, even intelligent people can overlook obvious risks. That's exactly what happened here. This story isn't only about one Ponzi scheme, it's about human nature. We naturally trust confidence. We assume respected institutions have done their homework. We believe that if banks, lawyers, auditors, and regulators are involved, someone must have verified everything. Sometimes they have. Sometimes they haven't. And that's why critical thinking is one of the most valuable forms of protection any investor can have. Always ask questions. Always verify claims. Always remember that consistent returns without transparency deserve careful scrutiny. Because the next financial scam may not begin with a suspicious stranger. It may begin with someone everyone already trusts. And if experts can be fooled, how can ordinary investors protect themselves?